Hello, parents. Hello, welcome to the 2026 Math Kangaroo preparation webinar. Thank you everyone for being on time because there's still some parents are not in the Zoom yet. So we're gonna wait for a couple more minutes. But meanwhile, if you don't have me, Regina, as a contact on WhatsApp, please scan the QR code on the left corner because I can invite you into our Math Kangaroo preparation groups where we have all the materials and the mock exam registration and all that preparation materials for your kids, okay? Welcome, everyone. Okay, it seems like we have pretty much everyone. I'm gonna start today's webinar. So first of all, let me do a self-introduction first. My name is Regina, and some of you might already know me because I'm a grade 3 long-term teacher at the Think Academy in both Cupertino and Los Altos campus. And I'm also a on-site at Kangaroo competition coach, as well as a long-term academic pathway planning instructors. And today, before we started, I want to take a quick survey to see how's our audience familiarity level about Math Kangaroo so I can custom the content today. So parents, please help me write down your answer for this question in our comments. Is this the first time you know about Math Kangaroo, or is it you heard about it before and you want to know a little bit more? Or C, you already participated before and you really want a good ranking this year? Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of answers coming in. Thank you, guys. Wow. Yes, I see a lot of B and C, but also some A as well. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, wow. Seems like this webinar, every parent is really well prepared. I see a lot of C, which is not like common whenever I have webinar like this. Okay, thank you everybody. So let's see. Because also we have some parents, they never heard of MK before, so I would do just like a brief introduction about what is MK and why do we need to attend this. In short, MK is really the first step in intro level in the math competition, and it's designed for children from grade 1 to grade 12, and the exam is held every year on the third Thursday. So for 2026, that will be March 19th. Okay, so what's the structure for the Math Kangaroo? So all the Math Kangaroo competition have 75 minutes. However, for the level 1 to level 4, they only have 24 questions, and all the questions are multiple choice. And you can take it either online or in person. And for children who's in grade 1 to grade 4, the full score is 96 points. And there are three types of a question. There are 3-pointers, 4-pointers, and 5-pointers. And each those type of questions have a question each. Okay, as you can know from the title, it's just like different level of difficulties. However, for kids are grade 5 or above, they have more questions. So each type of a question, they will have 10 questions each. And so total, they will have 30 questions, but the time is the same, 75 minutes. And that's why the level 5 and above is a little bit challenging because of the increased question amount. Okay, now since we know how the structure is in the Math Kangaroo, let's know about a little bit about the content, what kind of topics and what kind of question they're asking in level one and level two. So you can see here, it's a lot about spatial reasoning. So for level one, level two, it's spatial thinking, observational skills a lot. But one difficulties for school grade who is one and two is they need to independently reading the question because on the competition day there's no teachers who will like read the question for them and help them understand. They have to do it like independently. And for level one and two, they need to do some simple calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and also include division, which a topic that may not be covered at school. Okay, for level three and level four, we can see it's still some logical reasoning and geometry. However, the geometry gonna take a bigger portion in our exams and as well as the word problem. The question will get longer and there's a lot of like trick questions in their exam. So they need to know how to circle the key points. And also they need to know about some basic knowledge about statistics. Okay, then let's look at level five and level six. So the duration remain the same as I mentioned before. The difficulties here is they have more questions. So it has higher requirements on their accuracy and how can they finish questions in shorter period of time with accuracy. And still, at this level, it starts to introduce of some number theories and applied problems. Also, geometry from previous levels as well. Okay, since we talk about the general questions they need to be covering, let's see the previous year, 2025 on statistics. So for level one, level two, the biggest part is the spatial sense and the shape. Then it becomes numbers, which is a calculation. Then the last is reasoning. And for the level three and four, the biggest part is geometry. You can see it takes up to 60%. And some of you might wondering what's like combinatorics. So that's basically any topics that cannot be filed individually into specific topic, specific type of a question. So that means the question in level three and four is really comprehensive. Students should be able to relate all the different topics into one question because they need different topics knowledge to solve single question. So that's where children really need to practice a lot. And also eventually the word and number question where the children need to circle out the keywords and understand what exactly the question was asking. Okay, so as a conclusion, the Math Kangaroo content does not go beyond the syllabus, but it's highly comprehensive, which requires students to have really good foundation, good understanding on every single each topics. And from the question I show you, it's really fun and engaging. That question you may not see in the school, and it's just a lot of children give me feedback says it's really fun to participate. It's really fun to see all those like colorful infographics in the grams. So yeah, it's really a fun way and intro level competition. I encourage people to participate. Okay, let's see some Math Kangaroo statistics. As you can see, the total participation is increasing from year to year, and this is a national stats. On 2025, you can see there's over 53,000 people participating, and most of them are the first grader to the sixth grader because it's easy to understand. It's a really fun and intro level competition. So students who's beyond sixth grade may start to participate harder, like more serious competitions such as AMCA, AMC10, and even qualified for the aiming competition. So that's why I really encourage every single parent whose kids is between grade one and grade six as a first step to try out how does competition is look like, whether my kids is suitable for the track of competition. Okay, and here's some California status. So there's 21,000, more than 21,000 people participate in this game in California, which is over one third of the total participation. And 10,000 of the national students are ranked top 20, and 2,500 more students ranked top 3. Okay, now let's see. How does our Think Academy students doing? So from the data, we can see there's over 600 more students who participate in the Think Academy long-term class are top 20 in the US. So that means it's 7 out of 10 of our Think Academy students are national top 20s. So every parent here should be like super proud of your kids because as a Think Academy students, you already exceed so many other peers already. Okay, then let's keep looking at here. So as we said, this is a really popular exam competition at California. Not only Think Academy, a lot of other schools also encourage the students to participate in this competition, as well as some of the school are even the competition centers. Okay, so now we know what is a Math Kangaroo. Now it come to the next step. How do we choose level if we want to register our kids, and how the online format is different from the in-person format? So important thing first, please mark your calendar. The official competition gonna happen in, sorry for the typo here. It's supposed to be in March 19th, 2026, and the enrollment fee will be $18 before December 31st. And after that, it will become $35. And how do we choose levels? Just use the actual school grade. So if your kids is grade 2 this fall, then please choose the grade 2. Okay, there are a lot of students in Think Academy who at school is grade 2, but actually participating in grade 3 level classes in Think Academy. Please make sure you choose grade 2. Why? Because grade 1 and grade 2 actually share the same questions. So that means both grade 1 children and grade 2 children would get exactly same questions at the competition date. However, when the MK is ranking students, they use they only rank students within their grade. So that means if your kids are grade 2 and they're only competing with grade 2 students together. So make sure you choose the school grade can help them to get a better ranking. That's really important, okay? And also another thing, don't register 2 levels at once because in previous years, we have parents that mom has an email address, dad has an email address, and they registered 2 different levels because they want the kids to try different levels. But they eventually got canceled the opportunity of participating in Math Kangaroo competition because the Math Kangaroo is actually super strict about only having one single registration. Okay, so please keep in mind. Okay, now let's come to the options of in-person or online. It's totally like personal preference, but I'm going to talk about the pros and cons in here. So for the online like computer test, good thing is it's like familiar environment. The children just take the exam at home and it's kind of convenient to participate. However, it requires multiple devices, which means at least 2 devices. One device is for children to do the questions, and there need to another device to open on Zoom because there will be a supervisor, teacher to watch kids to make sure they're following the competition rules. And the most important thing is that there's no option for taking notes. As I mentioned before, the geometry starts to take a big portion in Math Kangaroo competition. So when there's a geometry, for example, there's a rectangle, there's a triangle. If the student is doing it on their computer, they cannot draw on the computer. So that may increase the difficulties for them to finishing the geometry questions. And for the in-person, which they will have a paper and a bubble sheet at the exam center. So of course, the actual paper would allow them to marking, circling, and also to draw on the shapes they have on the questions. However, there's also cons. So for younger age groups, they may be a distraction to each other. So that's also need to take into consideration. And also because you have to come to the exam centers in person. So the exam dates is this Thursday. So you have to consider the commute, and also you need to leave home and maybe ask a leave of absence for at the school. Okay. And another thing is whether we should choose a Think Center or other centers. So I definitely would recommend the Think Academy Center because the first thing is the students may receive the results on a timely manner because once we have the scores, we will send immediately after we have the scores. But for other center, maybe it's the school, the teacher has other priorities, so it may take a while for them to send individual results back to the students and parents. Also, for us, we will have an exclusive Think Gift package and award ceremonies for kids after the competition, so they will feel more involved and rewarded by participating at the Think Academy. And also, most importantly, we have multiple rounds of mock exam at the Think Academy campus where the actual competition gonna happen. So the children can get used to the process of the day of and they can stay calm at the testing. And of course, the biggest benefit for staying maybe your school's exam center is it's closer to at home or it's just in the school. You don't have to commute. You don't have to consider other factors. Okay, now the steps we're gonna have a hands-on step to step like signing up together. So parents, please have a device that you could sign up. We're gonna officially register your kids to the official competition center. Now, step by step, I will give a couple seconds until everyone has a handful device to do the registration. Okay, feel like everyone should have another device by now. The reason why we register this thing today is because based on my previous year experience, the Think Center you really fill up real quick. So today, as a special gift for our Think students and parents, we're gonna have an exclusive code for you to have the opportunity to register first. So we're gonna have two centers here. One is Los Altos, another is San Jose. So basically our two campus, the Los Altos and the Cupertino. And each center, we're gonna have 4 exams at the 2026 March 19th. So the earliest one's gonna be 11 a.m. and the latest one gonna be 6:30 p.m. And please think about the actual situation of your kids' schedule, everything, and maybe choose 1 or 2 session in mind right now because next page we're gonna start with the Los Altos Center first. I'm gonna teach you guys how to register the Los Altos Center step by step. But if you're interested in the San Jose Center, you can also pay attention because you're going to do the exactly same steps later. Okay? Okay. So, the first thing, the Los Altos centers, as I mentioned, will have 4 sections. So, parents, please scan the corresponding QR code of each section. And when you scan it, the website may ask you to log in or register if you're the first time user, and please do so. And also, you can look at our comment section because our administration also going to share the links and the codes there. Okay, I'm going to leave on this page for a couple minutes. Okay, since it's in our comment with the links and the sessions and invitation code, I'm gonna move to the next slides. So in here, please make sure that the address is correct and ensure the time is correct. And also the test center is correct, the one you wanted, because the later transfer to another session, you have to send email to the official email address, so it will be complicated. So just like triple check of everything, the location, the time, and the session. Okay, so what you're gonna see is this page first. As I said, triple check everything, and then add this invitation into your cart. Next page, it will ask you to enroll by invitation code. And the code is in our comment session, it's in our conversation session. The administration gonna send out the links and invitation code for each session. And please, once you put in the invitation code, we will move to the third page we have in here. And on the third page, and on the last page I'm showing on my screen, put in the student informations. And for the school grade level, please just enter the school grade. That'll be the Math Kangaroo level that your children would participate. So make sure it's correct. And after you finish filling out all that blank, please add that to your cart and make sure you paid $18. You will receive a confirmation email as a sign of you successfully registered for this in-person center, okay? Please make sure you got this confirmation emails, everyone. I'm gonna stay here for a couple minutes until everyone is finished. Okay, the center location and the invitation code is the common area. I see some parents was asking, can we sign up later? Yes, you may sign up later. However, as I mentioned before, because in previous years, the Think Math Kangaroo Center fills out so fast. That's why the early you sign up, the better you can guarantee your children can participate in the Think Academy Center. Okay, especially usually from the previous year, the session that is after school time fill out like fast. And I see some parents say, I'm in Fremont, is there anything near to Fremont? Sorry, we only have the Los Altos Center and the Cupertino Center, but you can also participate it online. Later, I will share the invitation code and the QR code as well. Okay, what is the registration code? Okay, So guys, if you scan the QR code, you will see, oops, sorry. You will see this pages step by step. Once you get to the second page in here, it says enroll by invitation code because right now it's not a public registration link for everyone. We only open this link for our Think long-term students. So that's why you need an invitation code to register the exam center before anyone else can. Okay, so that's the invitation code. And you can get that code in the Los Altos. Okay, and you can look at the links and the invitation in our comment section. Our administration gonna show up in here. Okay, now a lot of parents are asking about our San Jose, which is Cupertino codes. One last minute for the Los Altos Center, then I'm gonna move into the Cupertino, okay? You should, for the email, you should put your emails because that's where they're gonna sign confirmation and also student's name because we're registered for the students. Okay, now let's move on to the San Jose, which is Cupertino 1081 campus here. Okay, everyone, please find out the session you want to sign up and scan the QR code. And it's just the same steps as Los Altos Center. Okay, I will give a couple more minutes there as well. And parents, you can also see the links and invocation code in our comment section, okay? Then administration would send the link and the invitation code in the comment section as well. Okay, it seems like everyone already have the Cupertino Center registered already. Okay, let's move on to our online options. If you're too far away from the Cupertino or the Los Altos, you can also do the competition online. And here is our registration code and the sessions. Same process, same steps, just scan the QR code and put the invitation code down there and make sure you got the confirmation email. Make sure you paid the $18 was deducted from your credit card, okay? Because that's the only way you know you successfully registered. Don't just add that into your cart. Make sure you pay the amount, okay? Okay, now let's move on to our last section. So now everyone was successfully registered for our official competition. How can we prepare? How can we prepare the Math Kangaroo? So I got a lot of questions from our long-term students as we're already taking class with Think Academy. Can we just not prepare the test and just go at the day of? My answer is not recommended because exams have patterns. The familiarity equals to the advantage. The more students have seen the question, the quicker they can respond with accuracy and they can have fewer mistakes. So they have greater edge over their peers, and that's what we want to see, correct? Because it's a competition, it's a match. So the rank actually matters, and the students can actually see how they're doing compared to their national peers. Okay, then we will have a Silicon Valley Math Kangaroo preparation timelines here. So on the early November, we're going to have our first round of mock exams. And right after that exams, we're going to have two types of short-term classes that's designed for preparation for the Math Kangaroo. So there are top 20 class and top 10 class, and both of them going to have one class each week for 4 weeks. And whether you can get into the top 20 class or top 10 class is based on your points, based on the grade you got on our mock exams. And after November, in early December, we'll have our second round of mock exam. That's how after you participate in one short-term classes, you can see how much progress you've made and what are the still weakness you still have and you still need to fill in the later preparation stage. And after our second mock exam, same as usual, we will have a short-term preparation classes. However, this time it will be in a winter camp form, which means you will have consecutive classes for a week in a row. So it will be an intensive training, but it's really beneficial for children to develop a really good foundation, a good memory on the Math Kangaroo exam. And after the Christmas break, we come to our early January, we will have our third round of mock exam. And that would be our first evaluation before the 2026 exam. And as usual, after mock exam, we'll have short-term classes, and it's the same, one class per week for 4 weeks. And after the January, we will have the last round of a mock exam, then our final official competition, where is on March 19th. Okay, parents, please I can screenshot this, or if you didn't get a chance to screenshot this timeline, you can always add me on WhatsApp and ask me questions, and I can fill in the informations that you needed, okay? Okay. Because we have top 20 class and top 10 class, which means our goal is to help kids to get to the top 20 in Math Kangaroo and top 10 in Math Kangaroo. But what does that actually mean? So for top 20 class, that means 90% of kids nationwide getting to the top 20. So how can we get there? Basically, what we need to do is, remember we have 3 types of question, the 3-pointers, the 4-pointers, and the 5-pointers. In order to become the top 20, you need to master all the 3-pointers with accuracy. And in our top 20 short-term program, we'll be focusing on the hard 4-pointers and mid-level 5-pointer problems. So we're gonna help children to tackle the easy to miss, like medium level problems, and to practice them with when there is a time limit, you have to finish question within a certain time frame. And we will help them also strengthen their logic, geometry, and reasoning ability, and to cover all the topics that might show up in the exam. And for the top 10, the official website don't have the official data for the top 10. They only have top 3 and top 5. But based on our previous year experience, the estimates here would be around 60.5% of students can be the top 10 nationwide. Okay, so for the top 10, you can understand as it's a really hard questions to help them to master the hardest 5-point problems that most students cannot answer. And we're sharpen the high score problem solving and widen the gaps with the peers. And we're building the advanced strategy and cross-disciplinary thinkings. So as I mentioned, the exam really requires students have a good foundation on various topics because multiple topics can exist for solving single questions. So that's our goal for top 10 programs. Okay, so I know we're 6 minutes over time, but thank you so much, parents, for taking your time on a Monday evening to listen to me sharing all the things you need to know about 2026 Math Kangaroo. And please add me if you don't have me as a contact on WhatsApp because I will invite you into the group chat where we register our mock exam and where we register our short term like top 10, top 20 programs gonna be in the group chat. I will have like notification within the group chat. So please add me and ask me to invite you into the group chat. Okay. So that will be contents for this webinar. If you have any questions, please send it to the group chat and we can